Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nik on Nikon 7100 versus 7200. I am Dr. Nik Nikam. I have a Nikon D7200 which I have used for taking pictures, and I am in the market looking for a better camera. So I was looking at the comparison between D7100 and 7200. I found this website cameradecisions.com where they have done a wonderful comparison. So I thought I might as well share this with you, so that all the research I have done may be of some help to you in deciding whether you should go with the D7100 versus D7200 Nikon camera. Here are the pictures of D7100 Nikon and D7200 Nikon. They look identical. We are going to look at the similarities and differences between these two cameras. First of all, Nikon D7100, the list price is $869. D7200, $996. That's the best price you can get, unless you buy an international version which you may not be aware of, or you get a refurbished camera. And both of them have 24 megapixels with the CMOS sensor. Here are the overall statistics of these two cameras. You can pause the video and look at them. They look pretty much similar. As I go through the next several slides, I am going to point out the major differences between Nikon D7100 and Nikon D7200. Now let's look at some differences between these two cameras. First of all, Nikon D7100 was introduced into the market in 2013. So this camera has been around for almost more than 4 years. Whereas Nikon D7200 was introduced in 2015. So it has a track record of more than 2 years. The major difference I find between these two cameras is with the ISO, which ranges between 100 and 6400 in Nikon D7100, whereas the ISO in Nikon D7200 goes from 100 to 25,600. The rest of the features are very similar when it comes to this fixed screen, which was a flexible screen as I have in D5200, and it is especially true while recording videos, because you don't want to be at the same level as the camera, especially if you are sitting down to record the video. They have 6 frames per second, 1080p resolution, and one other major difference is a built-in wireless connection. That means you can wirelessly transfer the best picture you have to your computer or smartphone and post it on social media. So you can score some brownie points there. All right, now let's look at the ISO, which we already talked about. Then low light ISO is slightly better in Nikon D5200 compared to Nikon D7100. And the other major difference is the smartphone remote control. That means you can put your camera on a stand and control it remotely using your smartphone. I don't know how many instances where you would be using that particular feature, unless you are doing portraits where everything is fixed on a stand and basically you can control the entire camera using your smartphone. That means you have to develop more skills in terms of using a smartphone as a remote control for your camera. If that's your fancy, I think that's an additional plus for Nikon D7200. All right. And here are some common features related to both cameras. You can look at them: a built-in flash and viewfinder, resolution, LED screen size, and the number of dots, and the LED screen resolution. They are all pretty similar between these two cameras. They also have a headphone port and a microphone input also. which is very useful if you are recording video, and they are similar in both cameras. Now, the physical characteristics of Nikon D7100 and Nikon D7200, they are almost identical. Here it says 675 grams, a little bit lighter, but in another slide it said the weights were almost similar. So there may be a minor difference in the weight as far as these two cameras are concerned. Here's the top view of both cameras, which are almost identical. Now the sensors. They both have the same sensors, which measure 23.5 millimeters by 15.6 millimeters. They both have the APS-C 24 megapixel CMOS sensors. So there is very little difference between these two. They both lack low pass filters or anti-alias. How good are these cameras under different scenarios? For portrait, they are almost identical. For street photography, there's not much difference. For sports, there may be a slight edge over D7200 because of the increased ISO. For daily use, there's practically no difference. And similarly for landscape, so there's practically no difference except in case of sports, where there is a slight advantage with Nikon D7200 compared to Nikon D7100. Now let's look at some important features when it comes to various types of photography, be it portrait, landscape, sports, or night photography. They all have similar features. Another important feature that is missing in both these cameras is image stabilization. But that's not a major issue because most of the lenses that we buy today have image stabilization, so that is not a minus whether you buy Nikon D7100 or Nikon D7200 camera. So the overall score, Nikon D7100, which has been around for 4 years, is ranked 27 out of 90 in mid-size SLR cameras, whereas Nikon D7200 is ranked 21. So it has a much higher rank in the mid-size SLR cameras. Similarly, overall Nikon D7200 has a better ranking compared to the Nikon D7100. But the ranking may not make a difference if one of these cameras serve your purpose. Now, decision making time. That's where cameradecision.com comes in very handy. I'm thankful to Camera Decision for putting these beautiful charts on their website. Please do visit their website, and if you want to compare other types of cameras with your favorite camera that you want to replace, and here's the final decision. According to them, they pick Nikon D7200, and of course here are the price differences. We may be able to find a Nikon D7100 for a much better price by shopping around or using a refurbished one, but if you want to get a new camera, the difference is approximately $133. So what do you think? Which one should I buy? Please leave your comments below. And I am Dr. Nik Nikam, and this is Nik on Nikon D7100 versus D7200. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.